I wasn't going to show you this, but I might as well. I'm just taking a crummy toothbrush, and I've got some bleach here, and this is just from Home Depot, HDX germicidal bleach, and I'm just going to dip my toothbrush in it and stick it on there. I don't need much. That's probably about it. I'm getting ready to go to the store to get a little more caulking, and I thought I would do this first. Let that set for the rest of the day. And then at the end of the day, it should be dry enough. It should be dry enough after that to put caulking back over that. Remember, I've got to get one more tube of caulking because I want to make these inside edges a little better. I can see right in there, right there, right over there. So I want it to all look like that. And I can see where I stopped and goed. Back in there, along right there, right there. And because I put this on so thick, man, it's still spongy the next morning here. And I might want to let that cure for an extra day before I do my next thing on here. But I'll get the caulking and I'll redo whatever edges I need today, and then tonight I'll finish that over there, and then I'll let it dry for about a day, and I'll show you what I do after that. Stick around and we'll get these stairs fixed one way or to other. Okay, it's late afternoon. Of course, I'm going to finish my caulking now with that new piece of the new tube of caulking, piece of caulking. I just wanted to show you this. That's after treating it with that bleach. See there? Doesn't that look a lot better? And it looks pretty dry. I'm wondering if I should do that today, late this afternoon, or I may just leave that until tomorrow and just run down here and do just that. And because some of this is really thick, I think I'm going to let it dry one more day before I start the next phase of my project. After I put this caulking on, I'm gonna put the rest of this caulking on in the low areas where I can see that I could fill that up a little bit more. Okay, see where the indentations are? You can kind of see them, can't you? Here, see, there's a little spot there, little spot there, little spot there, and I'll just have to stand back and look and make a determination. There's a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. And right there, look at that, right in there. I can make that a nice smoother, and there's a reason why I'm going to do that. And I'll talk to you about that after I get done and before I start the next phase of my project. And it will soon become clear what my mind has decided to tell me on how to fix these stairs once and for all. Okay, I used my caulking. That's more better. That look better. I wanted it nicely conforming to that inside corner on all these. Okay, and now I'm going to let that caulking dry. Yes, I'm going to do that in the morning. And This looks a lot better. I filled up the voids. There's a reason why I wanted to fill up those voids, and there's a reason, because it's so thick, why I want to give it some extra time to dry. Okay? And you keep watching my videos, and my next step to repairing these stairs, I'll tell you what I'm going to do next, and so forth and so on, until we get these stairs all the way done. Hey, if you're a subscriber, great. If you're not, subscribe to my channel so you can learn all these things and how an average Joe goes about fixing all kinds of things. Man, I've got over 3,000 videos on my YouTube channel. Hit the little bell by my name, my face, and that way you won't be missing any new posts that I happen to upload to my channel. I'm always thinking about you in mind on saving money around the house. Okay? See you next time. So yeah, like I say, all day tomorrow I'm gonna let this caulking dry. I just started the caulking yesterday, and I just finished up some loose ends here and there, and then I've got to finish that and stuff, and then I'm going to let it dry all day tomorrow to let it cure, because where it's deep, it's still squishy, and I'm going to be covering that up with something else, and I want to make sure before I cover that up that this caulking has somewhat cured a little bit better than it is now. Okay, so man, I still got 3 or 4 hours of daylight today, and I've got all day tomorrow, and I'm going to show you, this is just some bonus material, different projects, different things that are coming up that I'm going to work on. Now see this area right here, I'm gonna fix this, and you can see where this these railroad ties are short right there, almost like this whole thing has slid from there out, and I need to fix that. I need to put that back together. See how this stone right here is low. Look how low it is right there in the corner. See, it should be about flush, and see how it's low over there. And then look at this next step. Again, both of these railroad ties have slid away from that wall. I don't know how they did that, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way to fix that. So I'm gonna have to dig in this up to a certain extent, aren't I? And then look how this is dipped down. This is dipped down. Look how far that is. That's about 1.5 inches right there in the corner. And look at this over here. This is all caved in, and initially, 1.5 years ago, this was almost flat like this. Okay, I'm gonna have to inspect that. I have a feeling I know what's going on there. I think there's a rat or a squirrel or something that has dug in there. That's dug deeper underneath there, and he's underneath these stairs under the house. And I'll have to inspect that. And when I do, when I get ready for this, I'll show you all about how I'm going to fix that. But in the meanwhile, I've got some, it's October now. I'm going to end up just spending some extra time doing some pruning. Normally you want to have your bushes shy of your stucco wall, 6 inches to a foot or so, because in the wind, believe it or not, this rubs back and forth like that. You're going to get marks on here. And see how the top is growing in there? I'm going to have to trim that back, aren't I? And then you see over there where it's rubbing there, the back side of that's rubbing. I'm not going to show a video of that, but eventually I'm going to have to fix this door. This goes into my crawl hole from underneath the house. See how the caulking has come loose there. Here's a loose screw. This needs to be recalked. That needs to be redone. And when they painted, somebody painted, and my guess is before we purchased the house, 4 or 5 years ago now, somebody had this door closed. You see? They had it closed like that, and they painted just up to there. It's like because somebody didn't have the key. You see? all the way around. And you look at exterior doors, and sometimes you're going to find that. And my guess is, yep, see there? My guess is they thought, okay, I'll be real careful. I'll be real careful and cut this in as best I can without opening up the door and stuff. Of course they got the paint on here. Look, I knew that. That's a given. That's a given. Silly beanies. And I can see that all the way around. See there? Now, you don't want to think you're going to remove that paint from 5 years ago. So I'll have to take this weather stripping off, and I'll show you how to do that too. There's a way to do that. And look at that. The door's been hitting on there. And so I'm going to have to get some paint and fix that. And I have a feeling the door has sagged too. Cause see how it's rubbing on the bottom there? And there's a way I can fix that. And see, when they painted around there, they got paint on the door, the door handles, a scutcheon trim. And I believe I've got that existing paint in the garage. At least the previous owner was kind enough to save that. And I'll have to re-caulk around here. It doesn't look very good. So if I'm going to fix this door, I might as well do it right. You know, redo all that. Okay, that's a different time. That's a different time. And eventually, well, before November or so, I'm going to have to prune some of these bushes around the edges because I want to reseal this this patio. Cut that back, and I've already sealed this once. These squirrels and what are the birds? The California quails. They just peck along there and scratch it up like a chicken would. Okay, and so I've already fixed on here. There was little hairline cracks every year. I've got to check out that, and there was some hairline cracks. So I took some white caulking and I put it around there because we live up in the snow zone. So if the snow gets down in there and then it starts melting and gets down in between the cracks, and then overnight it freezes, then that snow, that ice builds up and it expands, and then your cracks get bigger. And if you don't continually check out your patio, something like this, eventually the cracks are going to get bigger, and then what happens the next time it rains, the water gets down in there, washes away your sand, washes away your decomposed granite that I have underneath here, and it starts having trails, and you get those cracks, and you get ants thinking that they can build their little raceways underneath here, and that concaves the sand or whatever you have underneath your base, and then pretty soon everything starts sliding and it gets bad. So, you know, I've got to maintain that. So that's something I'll have to work on, and see, I just look at all these different areas up against the wall. It have to be trimmed back, trim back, trim back, trim back over there. And I'll do that for the next couple hours. I've got a little cherry blossom tree that's got some dead things in here. I got my snips out here. I'm gonna whack on that and take off some dead bits on this tree up high, you know, up in there. But that's not that. I'm not going to make videos of that. But another thing I'm going to do is these railroad ties. See how this first section of railroad ties, there's a gap there. Look at that one. And look at this here. There's a big gap. Here's a big gap. This one's up higher than that. Here's another gap, and it cracked me up. Mommy was telling me, my wife, she was saying, I think maybe I'll pay somebody to redo all the stairs on the side. And I'm like, redo the stairs? What for? what are you going to put there? She goes, railroad ties. And I says, well, I can fix these railroad ties. I can fix these. How am I going to fix those? Well, I'm going to pull them apart and stuff. And you see, they had nailed these two together from before. See, there's a big spike nail right there. Can you see it? Here's another one right there. See, right there. Here's another one. Right there. And that's how they attached those. They nailed them with big long spikes from the back side when they nailed them together. Then they flipped this over and then put them all down. And so somehow I've got to figure out how to get these fixed. And I'll probably make a video of that. Okay. Well, those are a few of the things that I've got coming up. Whenever I have something around the house that needs to be worked on, I'll make a video of it. Oh yeah, I'm going to be installing probably at least 4 different ceiling fans through the winter. I've got 4 ceiling fans to work on, maybe replacing an existing one and stuff, but I don't even want to mess with that. I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about different things on the exterior of the house that needs to be done before winter. And of course, one of the main things was these stairs. And if I get to it, then I'll do this. Then I'll do that other thing over there. Then I'll seal, well, before I do those stairs over there, I'll seal this before it gets too cold outside. So think strategically on different things that you're going to do around your house, you know, and if the weather's going to affect some, think about doing the things on the exterior first. So then when it's raining and sleeting and snowing outside, I'll be working and doing things on the inside of the house. Okay? All right, enough of that. I'll see you next time, and we'll talk about how I'm gonna fix these stairs once and for all. What am I going to put over the top of that? If you've been watching my videos, you'll have seen all the different things I've done to these stairs in the past. I'm trying to fix them, and now I'm gonna try something new and improved, and I have a feeling it's gonna work.